Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to the Manchester Evening News, Erik Ten Hag is currently leading the race to become Manchester United's next manager. Ajax are making changes in the backroom staff. Erik Ten Hag has told Ajax he wants to leave at the end of the season. Earlier on this season, he said Erik Ten Hag was learning English as he has his heart set on a move to Manchester United. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Erik Ten Hag become the next permanent manager. It would be good for Erik Ten Hag to come and experience the Premier League. He's not yet managed in the Premier League. And if he became Manchester United's next manager, he would suit the strappings of the club. He'd get the best out of these group of players and he would be capable of winning trophies. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's developed the young players well. He's won a couple of Eredivisie titles with them. He's won some Dutch Cups. And revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. Erik Ten Hag got appointed in as the Ajax manager back in December 2017. So he's been the Ajax manager for around 5 years. Ten Hag's contract at Ajax expires next year. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Because before Ajax he managed Utrecht, before then managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then managed Go Ahead Eagles. Mauricio Pochettino is still on Manchester United's agenda. You know, earlier on this season it said that Mauricio Pochettino was on the verge of getting sacked by PSG after PSG got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid, and it said that Mauricio Pochettino will seek to become Man United's next manager. Earlier on this week there was a lot of narratives coming out about Thomas Tuchel. It said Thomas Tuchel is wanted by Man United, and Thomas Tuchel is Man United's #1 target, it said, to be the next manager. Ralf Rangnick, he's Manchester United's interim manager. He's been Manchester United's interim manager for nearly 4 months. He is Man United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did initially say that he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But that could be in doubt now, because it recently said that Manchester United are considering sacking Ralf Rangnick. Rangnick has lost 4 games in all competitions as Manchester United's interim manager. Earlier on this season it said Rangnick wanted the permanent Man United job. I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. I think he's a very good coach. Well, he's a German coach, and the vast majority of German coaches are very good. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window this year. Man United endured a very disappointing January transfer window because we didn't make any signings. Lingard and Henderson should have left, but we blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of January. On the other side of things, though, we did loan players out in January this year. We loaned Donny van der Beek out to Everton. We loaned Martial out to Sevilla. We loaned Amad Diallo out to Rangers. We also loaned Tuan Zabi out. Ethan Laird went out on loan. And Teden Menga went out on loan to Birmingham. So we let around 8 players leave in January. Rangnick has endured one transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said his aim is for Manchester United to finish in the top 4 this season. Well, Man United's focus is now finishing in the top 4 this season anyway, because Man United can't win a trophy this season, because not so long ago Man United got knocked out of the Champions League by Atletico Madrid. It's another trophyless season for Man United. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Man United have only won 4 trophies in the last 10 years. Man United have not won the Premier League since 2013. And in the last 10 years, Man United have spent over 1.3 billion. We've brought a lot of players in, in the last, 9 or 10 years. Obviously, we've got 2 players here from the Ferguson era. That's Jones and De Gea. When Moyes was United manager, he brought 2 players in. That was Mata and Fellaini. When Van Gaal was Man United manager, he brought around, 15, 16 players in. There's not many players here now from the Louis Van Gaal era. When Jose Mourinho was United manager, he recommended 11 players into the club. And there's players here still from the Mourinho era. And when Solskjaer was Man United manager, he brought around 14 players in. So let me put into the equation, Rangnick is inheriting players who other managers have brought in. So none of this squad is Rangnick's. Like I've said, Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired, and a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. We've got to accept that no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at the club. Alex Ferguson, greatest manager of all time. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. The Glazers, they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. We've got to get the Glazers out of Manchester United. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years. The Glazers bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. It was good news from a Man United perspective that earlier on this year Woodward stepped down, because Woodward was one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time. He was accountable for how poor our recruitment policy was. Woodward was at Manchester United for around 17 years. Earlier on this year, Richard Arnold replaced Ed Woodward as the new chief executive. In the summer of this year, I'm expecting Manchester United to make signings. I think in the summer of this year we'll try and sign a midfielder and a striker. On my last video, I gave you the news on Tchouaméni. It said Manchester United and Liverpool have asked about signing Tchouaméni from Monaco. That's stemming from Marca, which is a Spanish outlet. Man City are also interested in Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni wants a move to the Premier League. Tchouaméni is rated at around £50 million. Tchouaméni is a midfielder. He's at Monaco. He's been at Monaco over a year. He's under contract with Monaco until 2024. You know, before Monaco he was at Bordeaux. Tchouaméni is only the age of 22, so he's still young and he's got a lot of development in him. On the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to leave Man United in the summer. In the summer, I reckon Cavani will leave, Mata will leave, Lingard will leave. I reckon Van der Beek and Martial will leave permanently. Like I said, at the moment, Van der Beek's out on loan with Everton and Martial's out on loan with Sevilla. Matic will leave as well in the summer. There's a good chance Pogba will leave. Jones and Bay will leave. I think Man United will look to sell Harry Maguire in the summer because Harry Maguire is not good enough to represent the club. I don't know how he's still Man United captain. You know, a lot of Man United fans are demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Harry Maguire will remain Man United captain until the end of the season. Prior to the City game at the Etihad, it said Harry Maguire was upsetting his teammates in the dressing room. I think we'll look to sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer. He's not good enough and he's not our first choice right back under Rangnick. You know, Diego Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. And Dean Henderson, he'll also leave in the summer. You know, Dean Henderson is our second choice goalkeeper. Doesn't get in goal much because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that number one spot back. Henderson has only made 3 appearances this season. So there you go. And Marcus Rashford, you know, he could be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Not so long ago, Samuel Luckhurst said that Barcelona are interested in signing Marcus Rashford. Real Madrid have also been in for him. PSG have been in for him before, and before Atletico Madrid have been in for him, so he's been subjected to transfer speculation. Recently, Marcus Rashford was dropped from the England squad, so too was Sancho. Earlier on this season, it said Marcus Rashford was considering his future at Man United as he is concerned about his lack of playing time. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. He has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy in that. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. But he is a good player overall, Rashford, but he hasn't been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. He missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem. And earlier on this season he had a minor leg injury. So there you go. But like I say, you know, Man United have got good players, but we've also got inconsistent players as well. You know, the good players we've got, you know, we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Like I updated you recently, AS said that Ronaldo has no plans to leave Manchester United in the summer. He's willing to see out the final year of his contract. Ronaldo's contract at Man United expires next year. There is an option of a further year. The other week, Ronaldo held crunch talks with his agent Jorge Mendes over his Man United future, and he said Ronaldo threatened to quit following his Derby Day absence. Don't forget, last weekend, was it? Ronaldo got a hat-trick against Tottenham. It was his first hat-trick since he re-signed for the club, and he became the highest scorer in football history. Ronaldo has 18 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Man United. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We've got Jadon Sancho. He's very good now. We're getting the best out of Jadon Sancho, which is good news from a Man United perspective. Jadon Sancho didn't settle in straight away. He did endure a bad start to his Manchester United career. We couldn't get the best out of Sancho under Solskjaer. Revert back to when we had Solskjaer. Solskjaer persistently played him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. Sancho did endure 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Man United signed Sancho from Dortmund last summer, got him in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Anthony Elanga, he's done really, really well since he broke into our first team squad. Earlier on this season, Rangnick said that Anthony Elanga was close to leaving Man United. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Elanga came off the bench and scored a late equaliser against Atletico Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League. He also scored in the 4-2 win against Leeds. He wrapped that game up. Earlier on this season, don't forget, Elanga got racially abused on social media after missing the decisive penalty against Middlesbrough in the Cup. Elanga has been part of the club for a long time. He came to our academy, he joined Man United's academy at the age of 12, and Elanga is now 19, so he's still young, and he's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Like I said, Marcus Rashford, he's a good player overall, but hasn't been the same player since he had the operation on his shoulder. Edison Cavani, he's a good player as well. Like I said, Cavani will be leaving Man United in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. Cavani's been linked to a move to La Liga. He's also been linked to a move to Brazil. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Earlier on this season, Cavani had a groin injury. Well, he's had quite a few injuries since he signed for the club. Jesse Lingard, he's not good enough to represent the club. Like I said, Lingard will be leaving Man United in the summer. Bruno Fernandez, he's a very, very good player. He's one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Fergie retired. Fernandez has been a Manchester United player for 2 years. Man United got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Earlier on this season, Fernandez rejected a contract offer from Man United. He said Bruno Fernandes' contract talks are postponed until the summer, having turned down an offer last year. It says Fernandes was demanding similar money to the top earners at the club. Fernandes receives £100,000 a week at the moment. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. With that, we've also got Juan Mata. He's had a good career at Man United. Don't have a perception on him anymore because he doesn't get in the team. He lost his place in the team a while ago, didn't he? He'll leave in the summer with Juan Mata. Mata, like I've said already, has been at Man United for 8 years. We've got Paul Pogba. You know, Pogba's a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba, though, has been out of form recently. He hasn't done that well in his last, 4 or 5 games. Earlier on this season, Pogba was out with injury for a while. He's endured quite a few injuries since he re-signed for the club, so he is injury prone. Good chance he'll be leaving Man United in the summer. Pogba, not so long ago, Pogba's trainer claimed that Pogba wants to leave Old Trafford. He said that Pogba is interested in a Juventus return. Well, he did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he re-signed for Man United, and earlier on this season the Telegraph reported that Pogba is open to Premier League offers this summer, you know, if he leaves Man United. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed, and Man United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. And it got revealed that Pogba's house got burgled during Manchester United's game against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League last 16 second leg at Old Trafford. We've got Fred. Fred, you know, he's not good enough to represent the club, but Fred has had his good games under Rangnick. Man United got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, got him for £50 million. You know, we've got McTominay. You know, McTominay not good enough to represent the club. He's had his good games, especially under Rangnick. And revert back to earlier on this season, I did mention that McTominay had been one of our best performers under Rangnick. You know, McTominay has played a lot of games alongside Fred in the centre midfield. You know, Fred and McTominay do not complement each other. And Roy Keane said a while ago that Man United will not win a title with Fred and McTominay as your centre midfielders, which I've got to agree with him on. But McTominay, you know, he's been part of the club for a long time, hasn't he? Came par academy in that. Revert back to 2020, he signed a 5-year contract. We also have Matic as well. Like I've said, Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, still being given his chances. He's the only predominant centre defensive midfielder that Man United have got at the moment. Like I said, Matic will leave in the summer. He's out of contract in the summer. We've got Alex Telles. You know, he's a good left back. He's our first choice left back under Rangnick. He's been very impressive under Rangnick. You know, Man United got Telles from Porto back in 2020. So Telles has been at the club for a couple of years now. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, you know, he's a good left back overall, but Luke Shaw has not been great this season. I thought Luke Shaw was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Earlier on this season, had a few injuries. Well, Luke Shaw's injury prone, which is a concern. You know, Shaw's been at Manchester United for around 8 years now, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Shaw's contract at Man United expires next year. You know, we've got Harry Maguire as well, not good enough to represent the club, like I've said. Varane, he's a very good centre-back. What we need to see is a world-class centre-half alongside Varane. You know, Varane hasn't got a world-class centre-half alongside him. But most of the time when Varane plays, he appears to make the difference. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him. You know, Man United signed Varane from Real Madrid last summer. We paid £34 million up front. He said it rises up to 41 or 42 million with add-ons, and Varane's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Erik, you know, he's a good centre-half as well. But Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago, plus he's too injury prone, which is a concern. Like I said, I'm expecting Bay to leave in the summer. Lindelof, we've also got him. He's not good enough, but he has had his good games this season, especially under Rangnick. Jones, obviously not good enough. I'm expecting Jones to leave in the summer. This season has been his 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. Phil Jones' contract at Man United expires next year. You know, got Diego Dalot, very good right back. He's been impressive under Rangnick as Dalot. Like I've said, he's our first choice right back under Rangnick. We've got Wan-Bissaka. He's not good enough to represent the club either. We've got De Gea. You know, De Gea, our first choice keeper. De Gea's been sensational this season. He's now back to his best. You know, De Gea is regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You know, our second choice goalkeeper is Dean Henderson. Third choice, Tom Heaton. And I think Lee Grant is still at the club. So, there you go. That's it. And as you all know, there's been rumours saying that Old Trafford could be knocked down as Man United look to upgrade the stadium. You know, Man United have played at the same stadium for 112 years now. You know, Old Trafford is the second biggest stadium in England. You know, Old Trafford holds around 75,000. We're looking to increase the capacity to around 80,000. So let's see what happens. So anyway, that's everything to update with, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.